We're bringing you the coffee chats of the day, and our topic for today is taking ownership for our lives and choosing love or fear and what that really looks like through what we consider to be small, like, anger versus irritation. How does that play out? Like, because sometimes we just give ourselves permission and we're okay with being irritated and stressed out, right? We use stress like it's
as a tool.
Like it's candy, right? Like, oh, I'm so stressed out, I'm overworked, oh my god, I'm so irritated, oh my god.
It's another excuse not to look at yourself.
Right, exactly.
It's, and then you have to figure out, where do I live in this? Where do I live and where is the me?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we want to talk about today. We want to get definitive about you're either living in love for yourself and your family and your freedom, and everything good goes under love, of course, and then over here is fear. What are we afraid of to look at? What are we afraid of to experience?
What are we afraid to feel?
What are we afraid to feel? Big one, big one.
Mm-hmm.
What are we afraid? So all the words under fear are who's driving the car, and it's a minute by minute drive. That's all I can say is that it is a minute by minute drive.
Mm-hmm.
We can go from love to fear in a
2 seconds.
nanosecond, and then we're like, woo! And then we have to bring ourselves back to love if we're aware. That's why we like to call it a conscious coffee chat. We always want to bring you into the current moment where you can say, whoa, what did I just do? What did I just experience? And how am I going to get myself back? Real easy. Just go, I got to go back to love. Use that. I have to go back to me. Use that. Any little clicker that can get you back to, I veered off the road there and I need to get myself back, because you don't want to stay in the fear and be angry at everybody and everything the whole day.
And even yourself, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. You're angry at yourself.
I always like
most.
to bring myself back. I always like just tap my heart and get present for a minute, and then be like, okay, let me reassess. Let me, for me, like tapping my heart, like, okay, I'm here. Okay, when you're here, when you're in the now, okay, what's really going on, right? Where did I just go south on even driving, or like, I don't know, a phone call, or having to make changes on the phone calls,
or what the boss said,
right? Or what one of your kids said, or it could be your dog, right? Like, it's like it doesn't matter,
too,
right? Your to-do list with endless things to do, right? And we just don't realize that's like the fear snafuing us in those tiny little places, right? Because I've never really tied fear with irritation, you know what I mean? Or fear with stress, right? That just seems like it's like a go-to all the time. Well, I'm just so irritated, I don't know. You know what I mean? That doesn't...
It gives us an excuse to move away from something that's bothering us, because like you said, you're feeling something, and we have a behavioral thing where we run away from how we feel, not even knowing that we're running away.
Right.
But we run into the feelings of running away. I have to get away, so I'm irritated, or I'm really angry with this person.
Or I need a break, so the only way I can get a break is be irritated, right? Because then that'll give me
you give it a reason.
That's what I mean. Instead of saying, oh, you know what, I need a break, I'm going to go 10 minutes away, I just need to regroup, I need to ground in, I need to be back with my own heart. Sometimes the irritation works to go away,
absolutely,
right?
Or you can be angry, and then that worked great. Now you're out of the space that you were in. You had your fit, and now what are you going to do?
Right. And so we're so creative with that, but what can we do to be creative and choose love? What can be, how can we create the love in the moment? How can we use, okay, I'm not going to go to irritation, I'm going to go to hold up, this is a pause. This is a pause. If I'm feeling this way, pause. Right?
Right. Yeah. I almost feel like when we're learning love and fear as a tool, we're like on a checkerboard. And we don't know that we're unconsciously moving, and then we're going to get jumped and hijacked with anger, with fear,
irritation,
stress,
Busyness,
Absolutely.
avoidance.
Oh, avoidance is a big one. That's
Yeah.
another one. Give me 10 reasons to avoid something, and I'll
Yeah.
use all 10.
Yep, and how
And-
not to show up, right? That's
Yep.
another way,
Mhm.
like, or how not to speak up when we really need to speak up, or how not to talk when we need to not talk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, listening versus.
Right. Listening versus contributing your
Mhm.
opinion and contributing and
Mm-hmm.
well, now they're mad. That person got mad at me, and just be like, oh, but they get to do what they do,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have to be with them on it. You know what I mean? They get to express like you just were expressing 10 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that plays in. But when you're on the checkered board, there's also all the red spots for black, for the red spots for love, and the black one for all the
All the
fear
fear.
spots.
Mhm.
And you just can feel yourself, and you have to. And sometimes a visual helps. Oh boy, I just moved a whole bunch of feelings over into every black arena I could think of, and then. It's not a way of condemning yourself. It's a way of
No,
locating.
right? Of
Like
noticing,
woo,
like,
a
ooh,
noticing, like oh,
this is, and that
I'm
that
overboard.
heavy feeling, or that.
the emotional overload.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the only way to get out of that is, first of all, you notice you're already halfway there now. So
Yeah.
that, give yourself credit for like,
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like this. I don't want to feel like this at all. That's a good thing. So then you can begin. You're traveling back to your heart. You're traveling back to your soul's reason for even being here.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, it feels so good. Even if you don't know what to do.
Right.
You
right.
don't have
Even
to
noticing the pattern.
Yes.
It starts to
Relieve.
release it,
Yeah.
or dissipate, or
Mhm.
even you can break it. It's the start of the crack. You know, the crack in the egg, right? It's the start of the crack, which
Yep.
is like.
Mhm.
That's progress.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Big
Even
progress,
yeah,
yeah.
it's like, okay, because what happens when you crack the egg, right? You know it's going to fully crack eventually, right?
Exactly.
So you can't just sit it in your egg carton and be like, oh, it's fine. It's, you know, not really. Because if
No.
anything goes on top of it, it cracks, right?
Right.
But it's the start of something. So it's the start to move in the right direction to return to love.
yeah, and return to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about love. Always returns to you. Love
Right.
always returns to lift you up and help you through. And even if you don't feel the love, you can begin to feel the clarity, the acceptance, the I can take a deep breath. I need to
the
just
peace
stop
for
the
just
peace.
a minute, like
Right.
out of the chaos.
Right, and that's why so many people say, oh, meditate. What they're saying is, I need to get back in love, and I need to just take a break.
Mm-hmm.
I can't keep going off into these arenas that take and drain all my energy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm defining somebody else's world over here,
Yeah.
and it doesn't feel good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were born to really, we were born love, and we are love. Like
Absolutely.
that's our being.
That's
God
the
created
who.
us in that
Yep.
light, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
And I think all the fear is the part where we've learned those behaviors that just are so out of alignment with ourselves, because we are love. I mean, really, we are.
Yeah, and they're
You
that
know?
shadow
Yeah.
effect that really
Picked up along the way that we thought we had to carry, that we thought we had to be different, that we thought we had to.
But then the sun's over here, so we have sun and shadow, and the shadow is very helpful for shining like, woo, I'm not in a place where I want to be, and I need to return to me. And that's what we're really talking about, the return
it's
of
all
self.
a return to self, or return to love.
And
We're
return to love.
So
And
love and
that's the
self,
same
we're
one,
saying,
same
is the
word.
same thing, right?
Yep. Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's like clear, so you get that, right? Like it's just a return to self. It's a return to love. It's a return to truth. It's a
And never
return to
condemn
you.
yourself for the shadow side, because the shadow side,
When you're saying shadow, you're saying fear.
I'm saying fear.
That's a form.
And you never have to be ashamed or guilty or blame yourself, because it's there as contrast to help you move or shift something that you've been wanting to shift.
Right.
And now you're able to identify it, so you don't need to feel bad about the shadow showing up. The shadow's always reflecting back
Right.
to the sun. As soon as the sun's on it, it dissipates. They're in.
Right, when the sun shines on,
There is no darkness.
Right.
There is no shadow.
Right.
So
shining the love
Mhm.
from within just encompasses you to be like, wait a second,
Right.
this is truth here. This
Mhm.
feels better.
yes, right.
You don't need all this other.
Right. I can
Guilt,
feel good
blame,
about
and shit.
myself.
Right.
I
Right.
get to feel good about myself.
Yes, I get to return to myself. I get
Yep.
to return to my truth.
And
That's who I am. That's who
Right.
I'm. I think we're always looking for ourselves, and we will find ourselves by
Mhm.
returning to love. We
Yes.
do find ourselves.
right.
We do start to align differently. We do start to attract differently. Right?
Absolutely.
And the
absolutely.
whole point of like I call this Earth School. That's my opinion. You know,
Mhm.
the learning. Right?
Mhm.
We came here to learn and remember the truth of really who we are.
Right. And experience the
Mhm.
best life. We
Right.
didn't come here to
Suffer.
suffer and be stymied and,
Jesus.
and I'm not saying that doesn't happen. That is not
Mhm.
about what we're talking about. But when you can, you always, part of your freedom of choice and free will is seeing both sides all the time.
Yes.
So
So
that's
you
why
can
we want
make
to
that-
open it up.
Yeah.
Open it up. Free will,
Mhm.
free choice.
Right.
And, and that was never meant to be harmful.
Right.
It was never meant to keep you limited.
Right.
It was never meant to do anything except give you a full palette of color, free choice.
Right. So you get to paint your world.
You get to
right?
paint your world. You get to do whatever you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're not harming somebody and staying in love, you're not hurting them anyway. And if you think you are, you could even examine yourself and say, no, I'm putting that on me too. I'm letting it limit me when my palette isn't hurting somebody. My palette of pink and green and orange or whatever it is, blue, is not harming anybody. So that's just a nice way of putting what you think is okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's incorrect, your heart and the love that you have in your heart will let you know you need to be tweaked, and you might pick up something in the shadow and go, oh, that's really helpful. Now I'm going to white here. I need some white in this area.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the freedom is that movement, that flow that constantly just goes and comes.
The ease and the
goes
grace
the
of
ease,
that,
right?
right?
Mhm.
Like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like when things seem really difficult, it's a matter of just being out of alignment, right? It's a matter of this just isn't aligned to my spirit. This isn't aligned to my soul or my heart, or I don't feel the love in this. However you want to call it, the
Right.
lightness in this.
And
the-
maybe your
the God
question
in
could
this.
be, what am I running from?
Mm-hmm.
I can't hide in this shadow because there's always going to be light and sun.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter how long I'm there, I still am redeemable no matter what.
Right.
And we just need to ask of ourselves, if I'm not feeling like I really want to get up and go, or like I
Right.
want to do something or meet someone, or whatever it is that we all do 100 million times a day in our head, then something's off. And it's not them, or they, it's us. So we need to see, what am I resisting, or what am I bringing, how am I trying to bring the fear over here? And I'll never, how many people do you hear, I'll never have
Yeah.
that.
Right.
I'll never be able to pay all my bills. I'll never be able to have a business. I'll never be able to have a great mate. All of those are the shadow that we are allowing to darken our sun.
Right.
No. Take off your sunglasses and let it all in. Let the sun in and let the shadow belong there as a teacher, not a resident. Don't you think?
Yeah, for sure.
We don't have to have the resident there.
Mm-mm.
But we can definitely, we like the teacher showing us, wow, that's what I'm carrying.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
Mhm.
That carrying it, and
Because it's the simple things too, even in your words, how your words create your reality, right?
Absolutely.
We really need to tweak our words, need to tweak our thoughts, and even return to love. As simple as that sounds,
Mhm.
but to be mindful of what we're thinking, be mindful of what we're speaking,
Mhm.
because it puts us on both sides of that fence, right?
Yes, exactly.
And so if we're keeping attracting the fear,
Mhm.
then what are you saying? What are you thinking? What are you really look at that and switch that, and it's that fast, right? Like,
Yeah, well,
changing the vibration, and words are vibration. Everything's vibration.
Everything is created.
Right.
but that's a
So,
good example
mhm.
because changing the word from "I'll never have enough"
Yes.
allows the shadow and the love, but you
Mhm.
can say, I'm looking forward to changing and improving my life and improving
Mhm.
my financial well-being.
Mhm.
But you need to recognize that and then say, gee, maybe I need a new job, maybe I want to go into business, and you have the options, and there's the free choice and free will
Mhm.
again.
Yeah.
But that the words of, we have to look at the word that we're using on ourselves. That's the biggie.
Yeah, you have to stop the mind talk of nonsense,
Right.
And even sometimes I share, like, and I've used for myself was, I'm willing to be willing. Sometimes I wasn't even willing, but I knew that I could be willing to to look at things differently, which kind of takes the heaviness out of that, And just, paying attention to your words. Like, what are you saying? Are you complimenting yourself? Are you complimenting other people? Are you saying, I can do this, right? Like, even the storybooks, like, what is that, the little train that could, or I don't even remember what it was, but he always, like, those words were powerful, right?
Yep.
And so we need to remember those little things, like, I can do this. I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to be willing to do this. I'm willing to make this, I'm good. I'm good enough. Like,
That's good, because what you're saying too is, I can wait for an answer and I don't have to condemn myself
Right,
or
in the
criticize
process. I
myself
don't need
in
the
process.
hammer.
Right,
right.
right.
I'm willing to be willing to put the self-hammering thoughts away, right?
Right.
Like, I can be done with that. I can sign off, right?
Right.
I'm willing to be willing to forgive myself. I'm willing to be willing to forgive other people, right? I'm
Right.
willing to be willing to look at this differently. It just eases some things up and gives and opens a door. Whereas, the fear shuts doors, the love opens doors.
Right, and love always opens doors. And we were talking a little bit about, we think and believe that everybody's doing the best they can with the
For sure.
information they have and the tools they have, and they're not picking up darts to throw them at us. They're just showing us who they are, in a sense, and what they believe, and it isn't personal.
Right.
But if we're going to take it all on, we are the ones who get in trouble, and then we leave them in trouble. Whereas if we just allow them to be who they are, then they can join in the checker game.
Right. It
eases
so, like, when you
everybody.
free yourself, you free everyone else around you.
Absolutely.
Because they don't have those, those
Icky
strings or tie-ins or
clouds or that
or
heaviness.
the energetic connection.
Heaviness.
It's like it's true freedom in that. It's like
For everybody. That's another amazing miracle. I mean, we have so many so much miraculous energy around us that, it's for all of you. It's always capital A, capital L, capital L, all of you. Freedom is for all of you.
Right.
And nobody's
There's
trying
no
to
withholding.
No withholding. No one's trying to get your all, because there's too much of the all to get for anybody to even say they could take it. Yeah, there's just the abundance that we have in spirit, in our heart, in our soul is so mammoth that nobody could rob us from all of it and be okay with it, because it wouldn't work for them. And they wouldn't be able to really touch it. It's like, well, how did you get all of that feeling of love? I just decided I want to be in the love section of life. I want
Right.
to love all of you and not judge all of you. And
Right,
not
in
be-
every moment of every day, like, we get to choose, right? And that's really cool, like, we get to choose to feel love. We get to choose to feel fear. So what are we choosing, right? What generationally do we want Like, I want my daughter to know that she has a choice to choose love. She has a choice to choose fear.
And then she's always creating more love, more love.
Right.
More
Once
love.
you're on that path, you're like, oh, okay, okay, step by step by step, and then it just keeps opening. But it's just so amazing that it's just a choice. It's just a decision away from the next thought.
Yeah.
Which is like really empowering.
It is empowering.
Because it's only a choice away. Like, everyone can make a choice, right? In that moment, even if you're in a fight, right? A fight with your spouse, a fight with anyone, you have a choice in that moment to decide, I'm going to hang on to fear and hang on to this, or I'm going to choose to just be silent and I'm going to choose love. I don't even know the outcome of this. It's not looking good. But guess what? It will dissipate. It will diffuse it. It will just... It has to, because the vibration of love is truth, is truth, is truth.
Right. Yep, that's exactly right. And someday we'll talk about the difference of the vibrations are so low in...
On the Hawkins scale?
Yeah, the Hawkins chart. There's just nothing going on down there, and because you're not creating.
Right.
But when you move into love and you move into happiness and you move into joy and you move into peace and
appreciation,
those are all
gratitude.
Creative words, which the universe was created to operate on the law of love. So, boy, get in there and get the universe and go, oh, the universe has my back, and does it feel good?
Right. When God created everything, like, if you just look at the vibrancy, if you just look at how everything is aligned with everything to do, the birds, the bees, the honey, the nectar, the flowers, the colors, the trees,
foods we eat,
it's like amazing.
Yes, it is.
That was all created in love. That was all created with the intention of just pure goodness.
And love always supporting us in every arena. You'll never come up with an arena that isn't supported by love.
Yep.
Because there's no mistakes.
Yep.
There's no mistakes. That's why when we talk about the hardships we've had over the last few years, like COVID and the damage that's done as a disease and the loss, and then some of the talk of the wars that are prevalent right now, we just have to keep throwing it love, giving it love. We want to create love. We want that over. We want everybody covered with love. And we just have to stay there and believe that love is the answer. And you know what? If love isn't the answer, I'm still in.
Right.
Because I can't believe that this is how we would treat each other.
Not at all.
So I'm in for the love. I'm in for the love.
Me too.
So...
And try it for yourself. Take a situation, you hate your boss, start sending them love and see how it changes. Start sending whoever love. Like, the vibration is, on the Hawkins scale, is at 500, and it resonates. They've already done it. The research and science, how that vibrates out into the world. So,
and looks in the brain even.
Yeah,
and
it's
happiness
amazing.
and peace. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And appreciation and compassion. So... we filled your cup with love today. We hope you drink all of that. And we're going to end this topic for today. Please like and subscribe and share with your friends. Share and spread the love. That's what we hope to touch 1 million hearts, if not more. You can catch us on our website, which is www.nomatterwhatyourit.com. We have coaching available, intuitive consulting available, Akashic Records, that, if you need to tweak things, just reach out to us. We're here for you, and have an amazing day. Keep choosing love over fear.
And I want to toast sipping love all day.
Sipping love all day.